I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and this is my video blog, brought to you by Legacy Discs. Play with confidence. Doing something we've never done before, which is catching up with an artist who is supplying all of the action for this video blog. That's right, Stuart Mullenberg, who has emerged as one of the top photographers in the entire sport of disc golf, has been generous enough to share some of his amazing photos that he took at the 2014 Worlds. I'm going to get right to it on our interview with him, and in the meantime, sit back and enjoy the show as Stuart Mullenberg brings you some of the best photos you've ever seen in disc golf.
As promised, everyone, we are here with Stu Mullenberg, who has really emerged onto the scene as a serious disc golf photographer. Clearly, he's doing it full-time, but Stu, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Terry. Thanks a lot for finding me, getting in touch, and I'm super excited to get on the line here with you and do really my first interview about all of this that happened to me last week at Worlds. It's really been an epic ride for me, I got to say.
Well, you very quickly made a name for yourself by going out and taking some of these amazing photos. Our viewers are going to be watching photos throughout this entire interview of some of your disc golf work that you've been doing, and it's just really a no-brainer to catch up with you. And thank you. This has been unique because, as I said earlier, not only is it not my video, but it's not even video at all, and this is a first for me as the disc golf guy. So let's get right into it and say, where does your background come from and how you relate photography along with disc golf?
I've been a photographer now for about 20 years. I started when I was about 16, 17 years old. I went to college, did all that, and came up through the photography world that way. I started playing disc golf about 3 years ago. I actually moved about 6 blocks away from Pier Park, and really Pier Park itself is what inspired me to start playing disc golf. I started going there every day. I got real into it, real heavy, real fast. I then hooked up with Jay at Huck Lab, started buying some discs from him, and Jay really helped me start to get access with some of the golfers that I was watching on YouTube, that I was seeing on your blogs, that I was seeing out there in the world, and start getting a chance to interact with them and shoot them, and that was just really exciting for me. I found it all really accessible right off the bat. I got to go out and play around with Feldberg out at Blue Lake. The photos went really well there. Latitude bought a handful of images from that, and that just really got the ball rolling. And I was just so turned on by that I wanted to carry it forward and really get great access to the Worlds tournament that happened last week.
Yeah, and immediately your photos popped up on Facebook, and I know there's some social media groups that share photos on Facebook, specific to disc golf, and everybody was enamored by, these amazing photos that you were taking. How were you so quickly able to grab a photo and then it seemed like almost instantly a beautiful version of it was up on Facebook? Were you just constantly unloading off your card and then throwing them on Facebook, or were you doing them all in a batch process at the end of the night, or what were you doing?
It's an interesting question. I realized going into this that social media could really be a way for me to get stuff seen and to get noticed. So I thought about it. I gave it a lot of thought. And what I did is I had my iPad with me, and there's a little thing that you can plug into your iPad that connects it right to your camera, so I could go camera to iPad to Facebook right away. And what I did was, nice. I'm super passionate, right? I'm really into this. I'm really into the sport. I was there before the mixed dubs tournament, before the mixed dubs started, and I just started introducing myself. I introduced myself to Holly Finley and Michael Johansson right away. They were really sweet. We were figuring out what hashtags we should use, and I just started kind of tagging stuff up to see what would happen. Then I just did a little shooting more. I kind of shot through that day, and then all of a sudden I look, and on my Facebook page, I get a notification that Paige Pierce is using my photo as her profile pic. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. How cool is that? And so that was really encouraging to me. And then I saw her showing pictures around. She was showing pictures to Ragna, to other people, and she was sharing them. And that's really what got the ball rolling, is a little bit of hashtagging, a little bit of putting stuff in front of the players. And really the first spark of all of this started when the players saw some quality work and started sharing it. And that was really exciting for me because that's the reason I got into all of this in the first place. I just wanted to really go meet my favorite players, meet my rock stars, meet my disc golf heroes. And to have them receive it so well right off the bat just really absolutely turned this into one of the most amazing weeks of my life, honestly.
Well, which is awesome to hear, and it's funny that that's your perspective. And then on my end, as a media guy who is the most, elementary of photo, photographers myself, the first thing I thought when I saw your photos is, oh my God, this guy doesn't have a watermark on him, and is he going to be mad when everybody starts stealing his photos? So it's funny, the two different perspectives from two different artists, even me being an amateur and you being the real pro here. So it's awesome to hear how you took it, and then what the reception was by.
Well, let me
players.
Address that for a minute. Can I interrupt you, Terry, for just a second?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to address that. It's because it's an interesting question that needs fleshing out, right? This social media thing does cause problems. My local newspaper took an image right off of my Instagram feed and put it into their newspaper. I had some words for them, to be honest with you, because that's not cool. And legally on Instagram, they can do that, but I called them and I was like, hey, that may be legal, but this is not bro style. This is not how things should operate. So, but here's the thing. I realized that in order to get the real social media traction, the real attention that I needed to be able to get a little bit of a soapbox, a little bit of platform like I'm finding here with you, that I just needed to put stuff out there, and whatever happened. I wanted people to share. I wanted them to be able to share. I wanted them to be able to use photos for their profile pics. I wanted to give something back to the disc golfers who got me into the game and helped me to learn. So that's really awesome. What I did find long-term, though, was that as I started sharing these photos and as I started gaining followers, that they were showing up in more places. All I had to do, though, was to ask the people who were seeing the pictures come up on my Facebook feed, who knew what my work looked like, to start tagging me anywhere they saw photos. And they did it. And anywhere they saw photos that they weren't credited, they would tag me, and I would see it, and I would know right away, and I could make a phone call, or I could tell somebody, hey, I'm really glad you like my photos. I'm really glad you're into it. I'm a pro. I'm trying to make a run at doing something really special here. Please, right now, just, credit me. Help me build a social media buzz. It's all good. Let's be friends. Let's work together in the future. And so the fans really helped me not only police that, but use those as real opportunities to create relationships and to grow. And in the long term, ultimately, if anything comes from this, it'll be up to the manufacturers to make agreements with me and deal with that in the long term. But as far as social media sharing goes, share, man. Put them out there. Help me. I'm really trying to be a voice for disc golf fans, and I really need your help to do that.
Yeah, and I've experienced some of that frustration, and I know some amazing photographers in Jenny Cook and Lauren Lakeberg and myself, because they're from the Midwest. We've all had these lengthy conversations about, and UC Maresma from overseas. We've all had these conversations about, wanting our work to get out there, but at the same time, if somebody's going to use it, the least they should do is credit you. And and Holly Finley being a model herself and being from Wisconsin, her and I've had that conversation. So I've struggled with that with a few players, and hopefully, what you're doing and the greater cause and good of all of these photos will help people realize that there's a passion, and at the end of the day, it's your knowledge and experience, and we need, people to be appropriately credited and or paid if they want to continue seeing this. So I absolutely am on board with you, and I know, again, that's why I had that initial reaction when I saw some of your photos out there. So a question that I have to ask, again, being an amateur photographer myself, I think the number one thing a lot of people would wonder is, what camera are you using? I'm sure you have different lenses and, lots of different settings and whatnot, but if you had, generically speaking, what's your main equipment that you were set up with?
Main equipment is pretty basic. It's 5D Mark III. I use an extra battery pack on it because the weight helps me balance a little bit better. I had a 70 to 200 2.8 lens on there, and then I also walk around with a 24 to 70. Basically, I strapped that all onto my disc golf cart that I usually take out with my bag strapped onto it. And I just had that and a few cards in my iPad and hit the course with it. I really wanted to be super flexible, super fast, super responsive, and that setup allowed me to really just make a lot of options, make a lot of framing options really fast. And that 5D Mark III does an amazing job in low light, which is, believe it or not, even outside in the middle of the daytime when you're standing in the shadows, you need a fast shutter speed, you need decent apertures to hold focus. You need a lot of technical things from your camera that really weren't available in cameras even just a few years ago. So I've found the 5D Mark III from Canon to be just a really great ally in this and other photography stuff that I've been doing.
Awesome. Good. One of the things that you're working on right now, which is probably hopefully the biggest outcome of all of this, is you're working for, hashtag more Stu on tour. You want more disc golf photos out there, and you're kind of heading up a group, we'll say, and of network and of golfers. Give everyone a quick overview on what you're trying to accomplish there.
Absolutely. And, I feel kind of bad about the more Stu on tour hashtag in the end. I really want to build a community is more what I'm about. I'm a disc golfer, and I was talking with a few people yesterday, and disc golf kind of comes from the hippie generation, and I'm not old enough to have been a hippie, but those are my values in a lot of ways. So I have been, as you mentioned, with Lauren Lichtberg, Jenny Cook. I've been on the phone with them. I've talked with them. They were really early supporters of what I was doing last week and helped me really pump things and get even more attention, which I give them a lot of credit. It's hard for photographers to look at other photographers' work, say, hey, that's good. I want to share that. It really takes a level of personal confidence to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I really respect that and appreciate for that from them. And so I brought them right back into the conversation as things have progressed. What I really want to do is I would really like to help to collectively raise the image of the sport as a whole. That's what I'm after. So it's not really about more Stu on tour, even though that's the hashtag that sort of went out there. Really what it is about is doing everything that I can with the opportunity that I've been given by the disc golf fans who supported me last week to, hey, let's talk about it. Let's start a dialogue with all the photographers, with all the videographers, with all the media who are involved in this. Let's start a dialogue about how we can really present this sport in the best light, how we can present it in a way that shows our passion for it, how we can show it as really a professional, viable place for investment and more large sponsors, and to really see these golfers and these athletes, these pros that are dedicating their life to it, really get their due in national media. And I'd honestly like to see them all be able to afford to do what they're doing a lot more comfortably. I see them struggling on the road. I see them staying in people's houses. I see them crashing, all that. I'm down with that for maybe somebody who's trying to make a name for themselves. But I'd really like to see this sport grow as a whole. And I'm really behind the Grow the Sport hashtag. That's really what I'm going to perpetuate going forward. But really the More Stu on Tour thing was just a way for me to have something that everybody could go and look on social media, see what I was doing, and I could give myself a voice to get my ideas out there.
Absolutely. And with the response that you got, it's more than obvious that people want to see more of your work. I think one of the struggles that a lot of our media faces, again, because our sport is relatively new, 30 to 40 years, and because there's not millions and millions of dollars in it, we're finding, everyone has a different priority. Of course, I'm looking to grow the video component, whether it's live or recorded. You want to grow photography side of things, but yet we want to have bigger purses. We want to have a nicer tour for these players to play on. So all these different priorities, and it's challenging across the board. And I've been in disc golf for more than 20 years. I'm only 36, so I've seen it all go there, and everyone has their different avenues, and I think we can all help each other grow as we go forward. So people are going to also want to know, and we'll go ahead and put it on the screen right now, what would you say was your favorite photo of all these from the week, and why would you say that?
Honestly, the first one that pops to mind was was the photo of Paige Pierce that I mentioned. That was sort of the first one. It's not even that amazing of a photo, but that was really great. The other ones I really love. I really love a couple of the shots of Macbeth lining up some forehand drives. I thought some of those came out really cool. I love some of the things. I heard about this. Somebody has to help me find this. Somebody told me that somebody took one of my pictures of Paul Macbeth lining up a forehand drive, cut him out, and put him on a beach somewhere in Photoshop, and I have to see that. Whoever's got that, whoever did that, get that to me. I need to see that. I want to share that on Facebook with everybody so they can see it. Nobody's seen it. The other one that I really love.
I'll just say that sounds like, and I'm not sure. That sounds like a Mike Castillo, Murder Mike activity. Maybe we'll hunt him down and see if that was.
Well, maybe if he didn't do it, he can do a few, and I'm all for it, man. I think having some fun with this is really what it's all about. The other ones that I really love, really one of the shining moments for me last week was I've had a partnership with Huck Lab, as I said, to do some work for them and to really help them, because I really believe in Jay and Huck Lab and EB about what they're doing for the sport. They've been really supportive of disc golf here in Oregon for a long time and out on the national tour, and I really identified with them, and I really wanted to help them. So what we did was we did a shoot with Avery Jenkins and Nate Doss and Steve Brinster and Val Jenkins and some of their other pros, Nate Sexton. And we built a set at Huck Lab, and we went out in the back, and those guys came, and we did some shooting, and it was just this really glorious moment for me where, I had these folks on set, and I really started to get to know Nate and Avery there and Val a little bit, and I just really feel a kinship with these folks. And so I think, honestly, my favorite set from the week, even though they aren't action related, were some of the shots of Nate and Avery and those guys at Huck Lab in that moment, just because those moments were so special to me, really, as the week was unfolding, to really have a relationship building with those guys.
Awesome. No, and that makes perfect sense. I feel so blessed that I've been out there for so many of the moments, the special moments with so many of our amazing players, through the good times and the bad, watching, the heartbreak and the success and celebration. And, as you've experienced now, having this special connection with our players, albeit top players or not, that special connection is something that will live inside you forever. And I'm also very grateful for it. So I can totally understand that.
It's pretty awesome, isn't it, man? It's really great. I thank all the players that let me get in their faces this week for letting me do that. I know that I can be a distraction. I worked really hard not to be, but I really thank all of them for really just being great people, for being great folks, and people that I really admire and on and off the course, honestly.
All right, so last but not least, we need to know if people are interested either in buying some photos and or having you, say, come to their tournament or be involved with them. Go ahead and give your plug. How do people go about getting in touch with you, and how would you like to see that moving forward?
There's a couple ways, Terry. I think number one plug that I would like to give is I'm looking for ways to give something back, really. I want to put discs in the hands of any kid that wants to have a disc in their hand. I want their parents to have a disc. I want them to be able to go out and play together. And I'm exploring a few different avenues of ways to do that. So people who have ideas, all of this, like I say this, none of this existed a week ago. All of these ideas are new. They're ideas that have come up during the week with this opportunity, but that one's the one that's going to be probably nearest and dearest to my heart. I am talking with Dynamic. It's just talking right now about going to shoot the glass blown open in Kansas next year. I'm really excited about that possibility. I really want to show what I can do at another tournament, and I really want to travel. My other dream is to get to the Japan Open, the European Open, the Asian Open. I want to go play disc golf in Finland. I want to take some of these pros who are becoming brothers very quickly to me and go out and shoot some just disc golf adventures. I want to go play De La with Nate. I want to go play a crazy can course in BC and show people what that's all about. So if people want to help, there will be opportunities to help. What I'm asking right now is for everybody to sort of get on board with my Facebook page. That's the place where I have the best opportunity to really keep everybody up to speed on the ongoing conversation that's been unfolding over the last couple of weeks, to stay on board with me and to really help me help them do all of the things, all of the ideas that I'm having right now that are taking shape. That's the best way that people can help me right now.
Well, very cool. And just so I know and others know, do you go by Stu or Stuart? When you're
Facebook, it's on Facebook. You got to search for Stuart Mullenberg. If you see me on the course, I'm always Stu. I'm a real informal guy.
There you go.
I like Stu. Everybody calls me Stu who knows me, and please call me Stu. And hey, one other thing, Terry, I went on this morning. I was looking at your stuff, and like I said, I've watched you for a while here. I pledged for you this morning. You're going to have to say the name of the website, but I pledged $10 every time you do a vlog. I had to limit it at $30 because I'm just a family guy here. But I did do what I can for you, and I'd like to see you be real successful with that. So I pledged, and I would like everybody who sees that to do the same. Go ahead.
I did that. Thank you so much. I did see it. Stu had stepped up and is a serious Patreon supporter, and I do appreciate it. As many of you know, every time I put up a blog, you can pledge whatever dollar amount you'd like, everywhere from a nickel to $100 per blog. And if it's a short and easy blog, I probably don't even charge anything for it, but all my other serious ones, count towards that. So I do appreciate it. I did see it, and thank you for that so much. All right, well, my only request of you, sir, besides doing what you're doing and doing the amazing work, is just stick to photos and keep your business out of videos. I'd like to keep my job at what I'm trying to accomplish, and I worry if you get into video, I'm going to be in trouble. So,
hey man, what you do is tough, and I respect the heck out of it. I want nothing to do with it.
Well, I appreciate everything that you're doing, the whole disc golf world does. That's why it was such an obvious time to have a conversation with you. And again, we had a very unique format in a multitude of ways in doing it this way. So I appreciate the time, and we look for more Stu. And with that being said, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Terry. Have a great afternoon.
All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Stu Mullenberg, a photographer extraordinaire, just jumping on a disc golf scene and doing phenomenal work. And look for him and myself standing shoulder to shoulder, bringing you coverage at your next event. For now, I'm the Disc Golf Guy. This is Stu Mullenberg, and we'll catch you guys on the camera.